Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making some jollof rice and some peppered meat. So let's get started. To get started with our meal, this is everything I'll be using to make my jollof rice and spicy meat. We got the rice, the veggies, the protein, that is my meat. I chose to use beef and turkey, and I do have my tomato paste here. And I also have some chicken, the guinea fowl chicken. I got started by washing up my rice, making sure that I remove some of the starch that comes with parboiled rice. After thoroughly washing it to my satisfaction, I moved ahead to start washing my veggies before I started chopping all the veggies up. I'm going to chop it up, put it in this pan, because what I'm going to do after chopping it up is I'm going to end up roasting it. So this is all my tomatoes, my bell peppers, my onions, and I do have some habanero peppers, and also I'm going to add a bit of garlic into the pan. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to drizzle some oil on top of the veggies right before I take it to the oven and get it roasted. All right, so I've placed where I'm placing it into the oven, and I'm going to set the oven about 425 degrees so that it can really get hot. And this is the result after I have taken it out of the oven. It's nice, hot, roasted, a little bit burnt like I wanted it. And the next thing I will do is start blending that tomatoes, all the veggies basically, into my blender. My next step here will be to add my vegetables oil into my pot, because I'm prepping to start making my jollof rice. So after it's hot, I've taken the cover apart and I'm going to start adding my onions into the hot oil. And after adding my onions into the hot oil, I'm just going to give it a quick stir just to make sure that it's circulated around the oil. Then I proceeded to close my pot back so that the onions can cook a little bit more inside the oil. And after that, I'm going to just open it to make sure that it is the right texture. And I'm going to start adding my tomato paste into my oil. I'm just going to make sure that I, separate the tomato in the oil and pretty much let it fry. You want this to fry, and you want all the acidic taste to be out. And this is a couple of minutes after the tomato paste have sat in the oil, and you can see it is nice and separated in my oil. Now the next step will be seasoning the tomato paste with this ongar spice, and I've put it in and I've mixed it all up together. Then I'm going to also be going in with some beef nut powder, and I'm just going to mix everything in so that all the flavors are infused together. And I'm going to close up the pot, and a few minutes later I open it back up and stir. And this is the other step, is adding my blended roasted tomatoes, pepper, onions, garlic into my first base, which was my tomato paste. So this will just I will just give it a quick stir and make sure that it cooks properly. I am now going to be adding my meat stock into my tomato base, and I'm going to be giving it a quick stir. I'm going to go ahead and cover back the pot and let it cook for a few minutes, and you can see it's nice and cooked and bubbling. And the next step will be to add my washed rice. This is washed parboiled rice into my tomato sauce, and I'm just going to mix everything together. Make sure all the tomatoes are infused with the rice. I added some already warmed water. I really like doing this because it just speeds up the process. So I'm just still going ahead to mix everything, and you can see the result and how beautiful it's looking. Then I'm going to cover it up with foil, lower the heat, and then let it sit for a few minutes. And after a few minutes, I'm going to come back just to make sure that all parts of the rice are getting steamed and cooked properly. And after that, I'm still going to go ahead and cover it again and pretty much let it steam. So the next thing I'll be making here will be a base for my another base for my jollof rice. This is butter. I'm starting off with butter in the pan. I'm just going to heat it up and adding some little bit of vegetable oil. This is just an added step. You guys don't have to do this for your jollof rice, but I am being very extra, so I'm making a different base that I'm going to eventually pour into the jollof rice. So this is some chopped onions that is going into my butter and oil base, and I'm just going to give it a quick stir. After stirring for a few minutes and letting the onions cook, I'm adding some tomato and habanero peppers and some bell peppers as well. I'm just going to also give this a quick stir and let it cook in the oil before I add some spices. This is chicken nut powder that I'm going in with, and I'm just going to go ahead again and just make sure that the spices are circulated around the tomato vegetable base. And I added my fried up beef into my tomato sauce, and I'm just mixing everything together. Now the next thing would be to add my mixed veggies into my base. This is my special sauce, and I'm also just making sure that everything is properly circulated around the sauce. And I'm gonna give it a proper stir and also just let this sit for a few minutes before I then reintroduce it back into my jollof rice. Look at my jollof rice looking so succulent, but no, we have to add this base, this vegetable base into the jollof rice because we are extra like that. Look at, I am mixing it all up and it is already looking yummy. Please testify that this is looking yummy. I'm just adding more veggies because, you know, I want it very colorful, very tasty, very flavorful, so every flavor hits. Okay, I had to individually cook this flavor so that once you're taking a bite, you're going to know that you are eating correct jollof rice. Okay. But anyways, though, I'm just mixing everything up and just making sure that all the veggies are incorporated into the jollof rice properly.
Your loving, I better find your heart. I better find your loving. I better find your heart. I better find your loving. I better find your heart. I better find, give all my loving.
Now that my jollof rice is nice and ready, let's move on to the next thing. This is my meat. I have different meats. I have the chicken, the beef, and I do have the turkey. So I'm just going to go ahead and season all my meats properly. I'm starting off with my chicken, I believe, and I'm just going to add, thyme, nut powder into the chicken. And after the nut powder, I'm going to add some chicken spices. This one I got from the local African market. It just says chicken on it. It helps elevate the taste of chicken once you're trying to season your chicken. So I'm just going to put a pinch of that into my chicken. The next seasoning I'll be going in with is my onion powder. I'm just going to go ahead and drizzle a pinch of onion powder into my chicken as well. And this is habanero pepper. You want to make sure that, I personally like to make sure my chicken is spiced up properly. So I will blend it and I put it in my chicken, and I added some water to just form some broth into this chicken before I go ahead and start cooking my chicken. So everything is nice mixed up and I taste it for flavor. And I'm moving on to turkey. These are my turkey wings. These turkey wings are so big and they're so juicy. And also I'm going in with some nut powder, just my usual nut powder, thyme, and I have some onion powder as well. And again, I am adding my spicy habanero pepper and some water to form the broth. I'm going to cover again and go cook that. And I'm back again to also season some beef. I got my beef, right? And I'm going to also add the same habanero pepper, just a repeated steps with all the meats. I'm just mixing everything up, adding my famous spices that I like to use, chicken bouillon, beef bouillon, or thyme into my beef broth, and mixing it all together to make sure all the flavors are, marinated in. And I'm going to boil it, and this is the result after I have finished boiling the meat. I'm still going to fry this meat later on off camera actually, but now what I'm doing is I'm creating the base to, after frying it, I'm just trying to create the base to season the chicken. So this is tomatoes, pepper, onions, habanero pepper. I like everything very nice, colorful and spicy, so I've given that a mix. I'm adding some thyme to this sauce, also my chicken bouillon powder, mixing it all together, making sure that it cooks properly. And I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes to cook, and after that what I'm going to do is blend this sauce in my blender, and I will blend it up, and before I then reintroduce it back to my pot. I am now introducing that cooked and blended tomatoes into my pot. Oh, this is so good. I've added my scent leaf. This is fresh scent leaf. It just elevates the taste. Try it. It does something to it. And this is very spicy. That's how I wanted it. And this is the chicken. I've put it back into the sauce, and it's cooking and absorbing all the flavors. Just check this out. Deja vu, deja, deja. Now it's time for me to plate the food. I have this moi moi leaf. It's very good for presentation. I'm plating my jollof rice. Look at the result. Look at my meat. I'm deciding to eat the turkey. Oh, it's so good. And I had some cooked moi moi already in the house, so I'm just adding it to this meal, because it's just a well-balanced diet. Like, are you guys gonna try this recipe? Tell me how you guys feel. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the notification button for more videos from my channel.